So people know, to be fair, I should say, for transparency, that I work with Kathleen outside of the radio station. Just so people know, as we do this interview, this isn't the first time we've met.
No, it's not. Well, I love our county, and so I work with both sides of the aisle, and I work with the county commission, and I work with the mayor's office, and I know local businesses and our fabulous local radio station. And so, yes, we do. I
have some questions here that I've been asking all the candidates running for state representative. And so I want to ask you some of these things. People are talking about crime. Now, of course, here, as we mentioned earlier before we went on the air, Rio Rancho's crime is much lower than some other parts of the state. However, that's on a lot of people's minds. What do you think we should be doing about the crime situation?
I think that there's not one answer. There's many answers. Number one is we need more law enforcement officers, period. We always need more.
What about the bail reform? Some people are talking about maybe that isn't working the way we planned.
Well, the judges have the right to hold the accused without bail. And why they are not using that right, I am not sure, but I do know that they are elected. So they should talk to their judges, talk to your judge candidates, and find out what they're willing to do, because it's already on the books.
Right.
And so they're not doing it right. Yeah. So I believe we need more officers. I believe that we need more investment in supports for mental health, for housing, for substance abuse. My father, when I was a baby, was a cop. And, I understand the fear of will he make it home tonight? And so we don't want them. There are certain situations that really are better handled with law enforcement there, but a mental health provider leading that way to de-escalate so that everybody stays safe. One of the things I love about Rio Rancho Police Department is that they have a real community police program. Their Coffee with a Cop is really impressive. Most property crimes are solved because of information from the community that goes to the officer. If you don't have a relationship with the community, they're not communicating to you. And I think that Rio Rancho, they don't pay the highest, they don't have the best benefits, and yet they have a much better statistics, and I think because they're invested in the community.
How about the state of the New Mexico economy? Do you feel it's good or bad? And if it's not good, what should we do about it?
Well, I've been up to the roundhouse before where the governor at the time was saying, there has to be an 8% cut across every program. And we were already showing a 15% underfunding. And so compared to those days, we're doing very, very well. I mean, honestly, we're doing better. We're generating more revenue than we ever have before. Does that mean our economy is great? I don't think so. I think we have a lot of ways to be able to improve that. But we're investing in the different revenue sources, which I think help. Anytime you diversify revenue, and this is how I do when I run companies or nonprofits, you diversify that revenue, it makes a stabler source of income so that you're not feast and famine. And that's part of the problem with New Mexico is that we've been feast or famine, for years, for generations. And so to build that sort of steadiness is going to help our economy build off of.
You kind of gave me an idea on the answer to this when we were talking about the solar farm in Rio Rancho, but your thoughts on green energy and the Energy Transition Act?
So I definitely believe in diversifying our revenue stream in the state and investment, and some of that is investment in wind farm and solar farming. I think that we also are increasing our revenue in the film industry. And I mean, what other state out there has locations that look like Michigan and Mars? Yeah. I mean, only New Mexico. Isn't that wonderful? And so we want to make sure that we can, we hold on to that. And those are big revenue generators. They're building, I mean, if you've been out to Mesa del Sol, that entire area was built around a film studio.
Right.
So we have the economic growth to be able to, we just need to continue to make sure that we're diversifying.
Okay, now let's go to the other side. Your thoughts on the oil and gas industry in New Mexico.
I'm happy that they are here and we are creating revenue with oil and gas. I would like that we make sure that I support what the current land commissioner is stating, that we want to make sure that when they are capping a well, when they finish, that they're capping it correctly. That are they meeting the current regulations to make sure that we are not jeopardizing? Because New Mexico, that's what our asset is our land. Our land, we have space that nobody else, or very few states have the kind of beauty in the state and the space that we have. And so we want to make sure that those stay preserved. Oil and gas and timber are our three revenue streams for New Mexico. I want to diversify that so that we, it's a commodity. So when it's great, it's great. And when it's not, it's not. And we need diversification so that we can have a more even playing field.
Some of these questions don't have to do with District 44 specifically, but you'll be voting on some of these things that affect the whole state. So that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And so, all right, your thoughts on what should be done, if anything, on the southern border?
Well, this is not something we are voting on because it is a border. Funding was pulled several years ago when our previous president pulled the funding for our border patrols down there. And we had to sort of like fill them up with National Guard. So we have a wonderful Border Patrol training area. I believe it's in the Hops or Roswell area. Yeah. And so we want to make sure that is funded and is operational.
Yeah, there's some that say the governor should send the National Guard down there, and she doesn't want to. And I'm just curious if you think that's a good idea or not.
Yeah. I would not do that as an uncoordinated effort without the federal, because that's a federal order. It is like everything. It's a complex issue. I do think that it is an issue, but there is a reason the influx immigrants that are coming over the border currently are being addressed. Does that mean they will always be addressed? No. So we need to continue to be able to manage that. But I would not come up with a quib soundbite for it. It's too complex for that. I do think that absolutely it's a border. We need to be able to address that. But New Mexico doesn't seem to have the issues that Arizona and Texas claim to have.
One last question.
Okay.
And again, I ask everybody this, but we need to know. Have you ever been convicted of a felony?
No, I have not.
Okay.
Never been convicted of anything. So, no.
Well, nowadays we have to ask these questions.
No,
see what's going on.
Absolutely not. No DUIs, no convictions.
I'm talking with Kathleen M. Cates, who wants to be your representative for District 44, New Mexico. And if people are liking what they're hearing on the radio this morning and they'd like to help you, maybe put a yard sign up or donate some money, how would they do that?
Well, thank you. Vote for Kathleen 2022, voteforkathleen.com is my website. Voteforkathleen@gmail.com is my email. We have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. So please just reach out. And I'm knocking on doors. I'm in your community, so don't hesitate to ask. I personally set up those signs for you if you need help.
Okay, you'll put them down in my yard for me.
That's right.
Okay, a good way to meet the candidate. Have them come out and put a sign up. Kathleen, thanks for coming in today.
Thank you.